Isn't it nice to see two superstars, two stars at least, actually stick around in the same place for a long time, have a reasonable amount of success? Let's dive into my next team in the season preview series. The Portland Trailblazers show you what to expect from them this season. Starters, reserves, what's new? Let's dive into the film. Damian Lillard, still the starting point guard, still pretty damn amazing. One of the quickest first steps in the league, one of the best finishers around the rim in the league. Phenomenal footwork, Euro steps. You got every solution in the book. Tremendous finisher out of the pick and roll. Great timing up his jump. Really special mid-range shooter and phenomenal, obviously, three-point shooter. Preseason, for guys like him and CJ, mostly just a tune-up, but I will say he looked in ready to go season form. He loves to draw those fouls. If you touch him at all on the perimeter coming off a dribble handoff, he also, you may have heard, pulls up from the logo or near it a reasonable amount of the time. CJ McCollum, pretty much Dame light, a remarkably similar kind of way of playing. He just is a little more in the mid-range and inside the arc than Dame, but he has increasingly pushed his shot out over his career. He's obviously a very capable spot-up shooter as well, allowing them to play off each other a lot. He'll be the real backup point guard off the bench as well. They'll try to keep at least one of them in the game at all times. Anthony Simons is the other guy who will get perhaps some minutes there. Again, CJ M. McCollum, and the M is for mid-range. He's really good there. He's really good at a little floater. He's a very crafty ball handler, tremendous getting downhill to the rim. And if he can't get all the way there, he's got a lot of up and unders and creative finishes around the basket. At the 3, Robert Covington, a 3-and-D specialist coming over from Houston. If anybody has been indoctrinated by the school of Morey Lytics, it's this guy. He has played in Philly for Hinkie, in Minnesota for Rosas, and then Houston, Morey went and got him himself. He has been trained in this way of basically threes and rim, and that's it for him for a long time. And he is a tremendous three-point shooter. He's done it for a long time. He looked to be in mid-season form in the preseason. Portland, very excited about his acquisition because he obviously gives them tremendous range, and he gives them a new added dynamic of defense. Derrick Jones Jr. is another guy that adds a lot on that end. He also gives them a lot of newfound athleticism. That is his game. He was the dunk contest champion last season. He is super quick, super bouncy, tremendously explosive, left-handed player, plays as a slasher. Offensively, decent getting to the rim and finishing, though he doesn't have a tremendous handle, so you don't want him doing too much, which he'll tend to do at times, as long as he just plays his role, basically run and cut and shoot and defend. That's all you really need from him. He can also, though, be a lob guy. That would be a nice little trick that Portland can look to use a few times if anybody on their team could throw a competent lob pass. This is their main thumb-up series offensively, which is a little pin down, hand back, flare, and look for him to get a lot of looks looking for this lob out of the flare. Again, guys just need to throw the ball up a little higher for him because, again, he can jump. Only 29% from 3 last year and his career. That is the one kind of lingering question mark about him, but shot looked decent in the preseason. We'll see if he could maybe get up to that 33% or so level to make it more tolerable. He's also, like Covington, a defensive-minded guy who's going to get a lot of deflections, use those long arms, and try to, again, bring them a newer defensive focus. They were 3rd in offense, but only 27th in defense last season. That's really what Covington and Jones Jr. come over to do. Block shots, put pressure on the ball. The team just needs a little bit more of a defensive identity, obviously, if they want to get over the top in the playoffs. Yusuf Nurkic will take the occasional three, but more than that. He is actually a very gifted passer. Jokic obviously will take all the shine nationally for that, but Nurkic is one of the best passing big men in the game. He's got a really good feel up there. Derrick Jones Jr. will be a nice cutter for him to get to play with a little bit more. He is a good finisher around the rim. Rugged, will play with a lot of aggression on the offensive glass, and does not like Jokic, given that he kind of stole his starting center spot from him in Denver. Good finisher, like I mentioned, at the rim, and that is what he does. Gary Trent Jr., year 3, big year for him. He is a big-time scorer, comes in with tremendous confidence off the bench, made a huge leap in year 2. We'll see if he could be a legit star, honestly, in this league. The way he shoots the ball, the way he plays with confidence offensively. So this is, again, a year where he's got a chance. Let's see if he can continue to thrive in his role, if he's all right. Not playing, 35 minutes a night, but being that microwave type guy off the bench who comes in and gives them a much-needed scoring punch. Obviously, Dame and CJ handle most of that. They also got Melo, obviously, so he needs to also get a little better from a playmaking standpoint, make some plays for the bigs, play a little more defense than he has in the past, and then he'll be perfectly fine and very productive for them off the bench. Carmelo Anthony has figured it out in Portland, does a nice job, certainly spotting up, knocking down shots. Give me that ball. He's really improved as a three-point shooter. He's one of the best, obviously, in the history of the game. Not at threes generally, but mid-post scoring, which we'll see right now. Loves that face-up game. Got tremendous footwork playing out of that stuff. Turn and face and pivot and shoot over you on back downs. Got some wrong-footed runners and such. He's got really maybe still one of the best 2 or 3 in the game in this mid-post area, and that gives you just an added dynamic when things aren't going well on driving kicks and threes for everybody else. You just throw him the ball down there, tell him, go get your own shot, which he can do pretty much every time, and gives them a big scoring boost off the bench, and he's accepted that role in Portland and seems to be thriving in it, which is really good to see. Definitely belongs in the league, and welcome back where he belongs, Carmelo Anthony. Also back, Rodney Hood, coming back from an Achilles injury, missed over a year of game time, so it's been a long road back for him. Welcome back, Rodney Hood. Give him time to ease back into it. He is a left-handed player who's been a very good athlete in the past, maybe might not have all of that anymore, but it's going to take some time again for him to get his feel back, to really trust himself and get fully comfortable again, but he deserves that time, and thankfully Portland's got a pretty deep, at least wing roster where they should be able to give him that time. Enes Kanter also back in Portland. He is the bruiser down on the block, can certainly give you a bucket if you try to hide a small on him on that left block in particular, where he loves to get to that left shoulder. In addition, he will toss dudes like Bol around for some offensive rebounds, but he will not really give you any semblance of defense. We know that by now. The can't play Kanter series continues at times where he can be notoriously lazy getting out to contest shots, guarding pick and rolls. We'll see if Portland can get by with at least a little more effort from him on the defensive end. Harry Giles is the guy that can provide a little more defense, although undersized. He is an explosive finisher, a good, capable ball handler, good feel for the game. He was really pumped up against his former Sacramento team in the preseason, turned in a Michael Jordan-esque preseason performance, was blocking shots, playing with outrageous injury, flying around like a lunatic. I don't think he liked his lack of respect there in Sacramento, but again, he gives them a small ball 5 at times, maybe an occasional backup 4, might not be a ton in the rotation to start, but he's a capable player. Thanks for watching. Make sure to thumb up, subscribe if you're enjoying this series. Patreon.com/ScoutWithBryan. Really appreciate your support there. For even a couple bucks a month, you get 50 plus bonus videos. Thanks again for watching.